Hi, the name's Striker. Today I'm going to show you my remake of the main bass from Seamless's video, a New Thing. This bass is pretty squelchy. I used brute force sound design to make it, so I'm just gonna show you how it sounds, how my remake sounds. So in three, two, one. Okay, so what I've basically done here, this is a modulation X, which is the main modulation of everything. This is a modulation Y, which is I will show you what it is basically doing, and this is the EQ modulation to give it some wobbly movement. So here we go. I'm just gonna break down the sound that I made. Okay, so this is a pretty harmonic bass. Uh, this is a phaser bass. Basically, I'm modulating the phaser offset with modulation X. It's going from this point to that point, and the pitch is at it's minus two octaves. The pitch, and this is the prism. This is the prism knob. It's put up there, and it's being modulated by modulation Y. And this is the volume. I am giving the volume a very slight modulation, so it does that plucky thing when it gets to this part. Something like that. And yeah, and this is these two sub levels are slightly up there, and I've given it three voices to make it as fuzzy as possible. Some phase, detune, of course, and chorus, distortion, more squelch, and some reverb to give some of that fullness in the empty areas. And this is basically a sub bass. This is half a sine, half a square wave, and this also has volume modulation and nothing else. And this is the global EQ, which is cutting out all the high and mid frequencies, so it's just the low and low mid frequencies. That's what we have here, and its pitch is also there. And this is a legato triggered for because some notes are sliding without the notes being on slide mode. So for example, this one. Okay, that's what I did for. That's basically what I did for that. And this Prism, the reason why I'm modulating Prism is because I heard a lot of Prism in the original track by Seamless. It's I'm modulating it with the Y, so it's put just to that amount because too much Prism can ruin the harmonic pitch. Basically, what Prism does, it basically makes your sound out of tune. It's messing with the harmonic pitches, so that's why I turned the harmonizer on to give it some extra harmonics so that the Prism can mess with it even more. This mix is modulated by the modulation X, the mix of the harmonic blur. It also messes with the harmonic frequencies. And this time blur decay is modulated by modulation Y. And yeah, that's basically it for the rest of these things. And this is how the modulation Y goes. Basically, on the first hit is not doing much of anything, but on the second hit, after the after the pitch slide, the squelch is rising. So basically, I'm randomly modulating the squelch until it gets to this point where the squelch gets plucky. That's the thing. And this is an EQ modulation, which goes like. Wait a second. This is the EQ modulation. So it's modulated. So basically what this EQ is doing, this is the high frequency and this is low frequency. I've created these bands to filter out some of the frequencies, because I don't know why, but for some reason this frequency was resonating too much. So this is a high frequency and this is a low frequency. And what I'm doing basically is I'm modulating the high frequency with one automation clip, and the low frequency the low frequency is linked to that automation clip, but it is inverted. So when the high frequency comes to the midpoint, when the high frequency it comes to the midpoint, the low frequency it is doing the completely inverted movement, completely the opposite movement, but they are coming back at one direction, the mid frequencies. So it creates an E to O vowel movement. So that's basically it. But it's necessary to create these bands to filter out some of the frequencies and to give it some interesting vowel features. So this is what the final product sounds like. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you learned something. So have a nice